White, my nominee is Mr. Nathan. He was my 7th grade tech ed teacher. Mr. Nathan, I chose to honor you because not only were you a teacher, but you were also a role model. You always challenged me in class and held me to high expectations because you believed I could accomplish great things. You were always there to help guide me in the right direction when I was ready to give up on a project, and I learned to never give up and gain a stronger sense of determination from your class. Students appreciate when teachers make the effort to connect with students, and that is what you did. I'm sure you remember my best friend Micaiah and I goofing around all the time, but let's be honest, we were your favorite students. I remember coming to visit your class after lunch in 8th grade after regretting choosing orchestra instead, or during your class while building those boats or rubber band cars. I understand the determination it takes to achieve success in those big goals in life because of your role model position. You might not be that awesome tech ed teacher anymore, but you're out here chasing a higher goal, showing young students like me that the sky's the limit. I just want to say a big thank you for being a role model and a pretty cool teacher.
A quote from Galileo says, "You cannot teach a man anything, you can only help him discover it in himself." This quote talks about potential. Everyone has the potential to do more than they think they can do, but this potential usually goes unfilled. This happens because of the many obstacles that life gives to us. Despite that fact, it is possible to overcome every obstacle, but first, you have to believe. It's easy to believe what people tell you, but it's harder to believe in yourself, especially when you only believe in what others say. While it doesn't make sense to listen to negative input, shouldn't it make more sense to listen to positive ones? It was hard to do, but this became easier with the help of my 8th grade teacher. Maybe the first thing you would notice about her was her stunning red hair, her positive attitude, and her colorful room. This only remains the surface layer. There is so much more to her than that. Getting to know more about her helped me understand how much she cared about her students. Ever since the day I walked into her classroom, this place of infinite possibilities, she has always been by my side. When I didn't understand something, she was not only there to lead me to the answer, but she would also lead me to other questions about matters I had yet to learn. I used to be afraid to ask questions. I didn't want to be wrong. If I didn't understand the material that was given, I would fall behind until I eventually fell off. At least that's what I felt would happen, because I didn't believe that I could do things beyond the limits I had set for myself. At times like this, Miss Jones would tell me to trust my instinct because I wasn't as far from the answer as I thought I was. Throughout the year, I actually began to follow that advice, and I use it a lot more now. One wrong answer is just another step closer to narrowing down the right one. One day, Miss Jones mentioned that Robotics Club was looking for some new members. Curious, I showed up, and after that, well, I just kept showing up. Robotics Club challenged me, and for a change, I liked it. I wasn't scared of it. Even if things didn't make sense at the start, I eventually understood them. I was the team's designer. Designers drew the robot, the parts, the process, the modifications, and the ideas for changes in setup. On a side note, our robot was named Dipsy. It liked to go backwards when the command said to go forward. After a good season, writing about the little robot and spending time with my teammates is what I missed the most. If I hadn't stepped out into what had been unknown territory, I would have missed this opportunity. After the season had ended, I began looking for other clubs to join. Miss Jones also led a science club that I took a part in middle school. As the title suggests, we studied science. It's interesting how the topics we covered then actually make sense now. Miss Jones made my middle school years happier than they hadn't been. I appreciate her for everything she has done for me, all the words she said to me, and all the good memories her class gave me. Those times she came to my track meets to cheer me on really meant a lot to me. I am grateful I had the opportunity to be her student, and I am honored that she got to be my teacher.
My name is Kelli Rivers, and I am a sophomore. I would like to recognize someone who has taught me and my brother without going crazy. This would be my 5th grade teacher, Mrs. Bryant. I chose Mrs. Bryant as my nominee because she has helped me discover the wondrous subject math. I know it's hard to believe, but I used to hate math. Now with the help of Mrs. Bryant, I adore math and I am fairly good at it. This love for math has helped me look further into science and research. Knowing my love for math and science has helped me find careers that interest me and allows me to work to my full potential. Thank you, Mrs. Bryant, for pushing me past my comfort zone and believing in me even when I didn't believe in myself.
Hi, my name is Melody Gray, and I'm a sophomore. I moved to Indiana from Seattle, Washington this summer before 7th grade. I started playing violin in 4th grade, and music is one of the things that remained constant with the move. Rightly so, my teacher is the orchestra teacher from Creston, Mr. Peckham. Because he teaches orchestra, I had him in both 7th and 8th grade. I chose Mr. Peckham because he is one of my role models. He is a great teacher, helping many kids to develop their musical prowess. And not only that, but he actually cares about the kids he teaches. That's a really important attribute because we live in a world where many kids don't think that anyone cares about them, so having a teacher that does makes them feel really valued. Whether he brought us donuts or candy or asked us about our other classes or extracurriculars, he was super genuine and treated us as equals. He made his students feel safe, appreciated, and valued, which made his classroom an environment where learning was successful. The thing I'm most grateful to him for is that he helped me achieve my love of music. In 7th grade, he let me play with the 8th graders because I had already been playing for 3 years. He gave me harder music, and he helped me get a private teacher. Both of those things helped me develop my skill. He gave us lots of opportunities to play in contests such as solo ensemble or going to Butler with the rest of the class to play in competitions. He helped students get ready to audition for the high school orchestras. He also prepared us for high school and the future in general. He had Mr. Himes come to the middle school and talk with us about high school, and he did so many other things for his students. Most importantly, Mr. Peckham believes in his students, and he knows they have the potential to do great things, and he makes sure that they know that. So, Mr. Peckham, thank you for being an awesome teacher and for going above and beyond to do your job well.
Greetings all, I am Jacob Wooldridge. I'm a musician and scholar of SAITs. Today I'm honoring Mrs. Elliot, my homeroom teacher in 5th grade at Stony Brook Intermediate Academy. The reason I choose to honor her is because of the lasting impact she has had on students and the passion she puts into teaching. Her whole style of teaching is unlike anything I'd ever seen before or after. From doing projects such as Jamestown's on the Moon, to moments such as observing Madagascar cockroaches in class, granted me an experience I'd never forget. I've never been a fan of insects, but it was a unique approach to teaching that engaged the students. I wish to thank her for everything she has done and how she has taught. She continues to teach that way to this day and expand what her students can and can't do. She sets them up for a successful future and helped us learn a little bit about ourselves.
Hello, my name is Victoria McDougal, and my nominee is Mr. Rhodes. He was my U.S. history teacher in 8th grade at Creston Middle School. There are a variety of reasons why I chose you. Some of them would be your traits that I admire, such as your sense of humor and interesting ways of teaching. Your enthusiastic and yet sarcastic approach to the subject made everything more enjoyable and easier to learn. I also chose you because of what you taught me. While you taught me a great deal about U.S. history, that isn't what I'm talking about. I'm referring to the awareness you gave me at the end of class each day. I remember you would put up the candidates for the election primaries on the board in order of who was most likely to win. We had some decent and civil conversations about what was happening in that class, and it opened my eyes to a wide variety of things before this. Current events were not my forte. I didn't pay much attention to the news and politics. Now I am full of opinions that I have shaped and hopes that I have for the future. This is all because of you. You have made a tremendous impact on my life and how I was shaped as a person. The person I am today wouldn't be here without you and your class. In total, all I want to tell you is thanks. I thank you for opening my eyes to the world around me, being there for me and my friends, and for never being condescending or patronizing to us. I truly appreciate the time I spent in your class and the effect you have had on me and my personality.
My name is Aniah, and I am choosing to honor Nicole Simpson because I feel like she not only teaches her students, but she connects with them on a personal level as well. Being a student of hers has truly been a pleasure, and it was one of the funniest yet most beneficial classes on my schedule. She was the first African-American female teacher of my high school career and one of the coolest. Kids walked into her classroom with a general expectation that they have for all teachers, and I honestly think she surpassed it. She has an old soul and she's wise beyond her years. Generally, people can tell when a person does their job, but they can also tell when a person likes doing their job, and I think she liked to do her job. She is a phenomenal teacher, and she continues to help me learn in the simplest ways. I'm choosing to honor her in this ceremony because I believe that she has touched many students with her unique way of teaching and excellent life advice. I always enjoy participating in her class discussions, and if I could take principles of biomedical sciences again, I would. She is so much more than a teacher. She managed to make me laugh on my bad days, and she didn't even know it. She also used to talk a lot about priorities, and that has helped me become a better student and person. I know years from now, I will still think about what she has done for me, just by teaching and having a good attitude about it. I'm sure others, myself included, appreciate her for making their school year a good one.
My name is Joanna Pardew. What can I say? Honestly, not much, because my memory is terrible and I try to push 7th grade as far out of my mind as possible. But obviously, I didn't push all of it away. You were one of the things that made 7th grade bearable and worth remembering. You were sort of everyone's 7th grade legend. And off the top, here's what you left behind. Euphrates Tigress, Sassmaster Gandhi, Baby Mrs. Graham, and McDonald's. I'm 87% sure there's more that I'm missing, but that's the main deal. Mr. Uebbing, you were the first teacher that made me excited to go to class for starters. I'm sort of positive I had algebra right before your class, and it's pretty widely known fact that I hate math and am terrible at it. So, making the transition from that door to yours next door was pretty magical. It was always really chill in your class, but not the chill that makes you lazy and slacking. I was always ready to learn in your class, but not so much for the whole, now let's see what you know part, but more for the, I know what we're about to do, super fun project, yeah part. I was also a never big fan of history before your class. My 6th grade teacher, bless him, loved math and hated history, so that aspect of content in his classroom was lacking, which I'm sure you noticed from our overabundance of previous knowledge on history at the beginning of the year. From your class, though, I was able to actually enjoy learning for what it was, as opposed to being taught for the sake of passing the next test. While I'm not able to name all of the 12 dynasties of China, like the Qin dynasty, yeah, that's all I know actually, or remember any important specifics over anything you taught us, I am an expert on Mahatma Gandhi and how to mummify dead bodies and how to protect pharaohs from tomb robbers. And I get to tell everyone how I've been flayed, by you. So, this is the end, and I just want to let you know that I love and miss you dearly, and though I wouldn't see you much around anyway. So here's to you, Mr. Uebbing, for being one of my favorite teachers yet.
Hello, my name is Ilaina Razo, and my nominee is my Spanish teacher, Miss Dennison, who taught me 6th through 8th grade at Creston Middle School. I chose my nominee due to the example she set and the impact she had on me each day I stepped foot in the classroom. She has been an inspiring, hardworking person who I look up to and has taught me many things. Miss Dennison made the classroom a fun and enjoyable environment where I felt encouraged to practice my Spanish abilities. One day in 6th grade, I went up to her and asked, "Can I get a drink of water?" in Spanish, of course, and her face suddenly lit up and she was so proud. I knew from then on Miss Dennison was a teacher who saw the potential in me and gave me courage. This courage has led me to take chances I would have previously avoided, like travel to another country or even talk to my peers in Spanish. Overall, because I admire her work ethic, her sincerity, her humor, and her passion for teaching Spanish, I chose Miss Dennison to honor tonight. Thank you so much for helping to develop my character and for being an outstanding role model. It was an honor to be your student.
Hello, my name is Rebecca Daugherty. My nominee is Mrs. Saul, my 5th grade teacher from Creston Intermediate Academy. She is still currently teaching at Creston. Going all the way back to 2012, when I was a 5th grader, you were my teacher. One of the best, might I add. I came to your class a little teary-eyed and scared, having started in a new school with very few friends, but you gladly embraced me and my shy tendencies. Without you, I would not have made it through those first couple of weeks of the school year. You were a kind, patient person in a different place, and that was exactly what I needed at the time. So thank you. Because of your class, I'm a very hardworking student. You pushed me harder academically than any of my teachers had before. All of the social studies notes and English textbook questions may have formed a few writing bumps on my hands, but they also formed a good work ethic that I've carried with me through middle school until now. I can't thank you enough for helping me get where I am today. You also introduced a new genre of books I never knew I loved, historical fiction. To most, it does not sound the most interesting, but I love the genre to this day. From all of the trips down to the library and you helping us pick out books we really enjoyed, I found out I love to read historical fiction. I think that year I ran out of Anne Rinaldi, one of my favorite authors, books to check out. I also found my love for psychological thrillers. There was this one book I really remember I liked, and when I told you about it, you asked to borrow it. Actually, now that I think about it, pretty sure I never got it back. Overall, thank you so much for being a wonderful teacher. Your positivity and acceptance supported my transition to a new school, and you helped me more than you could ever know. I will never forget your kindness, the many pages of historical fiction, and my fingers with their many writing bumps will forever remember the many notes.